What's up, y'all? As you can see, I'm in my robe. You know what I'm saying? We out here. Um, welcome to the intro to Behind the Shade with Shaded Sage. I am, of course, Shaded Sage. And, I kind of want to just do this intro to kind of explain how things will go on this podcast. It is mostly interview based, but I also will have like solo discussions to basically like either vent or, put my mind out there. Um, I invite, of course, anybody who wants to promote their brand, promote their life, talk about the difficulties in their lives and everything like that. And I kind of want to show you how that's going to be because think about it, right? How comfortable are you being interviewed and stuff by somebody you don't really know much about? So, especially when it comes to difficulties in life. So, I'll kind of will sum up my difficulties in life, just to kind of show that it's more of an open, I'm open to listening and everything like that. So, I was raised by my grandfather. My parents are from the island of Montserrat in the Lesser Antilles in the Caribbean, and they couldn't really get here, right? It's a lot when it comes to immigration and visas and everything like that. But I'm not complaining because they were there. Like they were still supportive parents. Anything I needed financially, they would send it. Anything I needed morally, they would send. Like what I'm saying. Like they were still there. Like I would see them still. Like what I'm saying. It just wasn't a 24/7 thing. Like living with somebody. Um, I love my parents. Just to get that out the way. Uh, but I was raised by my grandfather. There are several people that helped raise me in regards to my aunts, my uncles, uncles, right? But they're not blood, but they're uncles, right? Um, my cousins, right? I have three main cousins. You know, um, one shout out to Keith. All right, me and Keith was raised as brothers. He's my little cousin, but we were kind of raised as brothers. So shout out to my cousin Quan again, raised like brothers. You know what I'm saying? And shout out to my cousin Josh, again, not a blood cousin, but nevertheless, my family. You know what I'm saying? Um, and of course, shout out to like I said, shout out to my aunt, shout out to my uncles, shout out to my grandma as well. Taught me the importance of eating fruit. You know what I'm saying? And basically, like, being raised by an old person, primarily, it's not all it's cracked up to be. Uh, Gramps was pretty old school when it came to a lot of things. Christmas time, all we did was like anything Christmassy was eat dinner together. And that was it. That was my Christmas almost every year. Same thing with my birthday. Uh, just eat dinner together. You know, any major holiday was us eating dinner together. And I'm not gonna lie, like I'm not complaining. I just when people picture Christmas and everything like that, just know like that wasn't my experience, right? But I was still appreciative because I got to spend more time with him, more on one, and I think that kind of, as I got older, it kind of got more talkative. I would say, like now he could talk to me like a grown man, kind of like a friend. You know what I'm saying? Um, and he wasn't really there for my accomplishments in regards to like track and field in Boston. So if those who don't know, I'm from Boston. I was the city's best thrower for 2 years. I actually got to the state level twice, and one of the saddest things to me is like you're surrounded by all these friends and family who can their parents are there even if they lose, like they still had their families there to like cheer them on and everything. And then there was me. Like I would just throw, get the best throw. My teammates would be like, "Yeah, dunk," and then that's it. And I would go home. I have my medals. Hey, Gramps, like got my medals. He was like, "Oh, okay," and then that's it. That's how we celebrate my accomplishments, right? Um, and when I say he's old school Caribbean, like he's old school Caribbean. Like he didn't even want to like come to my graduation because I didn't do good in high school. Like I did, right? I Hear me out though. When you're a freshman, right? I was told as a freshman, colleges look at progress, right? I thought, okay, so let me chill, let me have fun because Gramps was very strict in regards to letting me out into places where I shouldn't be, right? Because he knew where the crackheads were on the street. He knew where the hood people was on the street. He knew where all that stuff was. And it just so happened that I also wanted to be over those places because my friends were over those places. I didn't know none of that until I got older. But as a kid, you're like, oh, I can't go in my friend's house. Da, da, da. So, but it's because he knew the dangers. But I used my first 2 years in high school to, have fun. I didn't get to have fun in middle school, so it's like I'm about to have fun, right? And then junior year, right? Got in track and field, got my GPA up, everything going good. I'm like, yeah. Senior year, same thing. I'm on football now. Like, even my coach in football was like, yo, if you came out freshman year, you would have been a monster. Because I was already strong. Right, I never lifted weights. Actually, to be fair with y'all, I didn't lift weights till my senior year in college. But I was always strong, so nobody questioned that. But so basically, and then I'm big now, right? But when I was winning the discus and triple jump and shot put and all that, I was like 180. I was skinny, right? But so yeah, no, I got my GPA up. I'm getting all these extracurricular activities, everything like that. And then they hit me with some cumulative GPA. That's what you guys cumulative. So I'm sitting here like, so you mean to tell me my freshman year affects my senior year? Like, and it's like, yep. So I couldn't even get into a good college with my GPA. So I ended up going community college. And because my gramps was so old school Caribbean, he viewed community college as a spit in the face. Especially because I went to one of the best cities and the best schools in Boston. I went to O'Brien. So it's like, and, he kind of felt ashamed, and I get it, right? And thank God for my, other criteria, because I got into Chestnut Hill in Philly, which I'm still paying for. But it was worth it, right? But after I graduated, I ended up, getting a good job, started to have fun, and COVID happened. No, not even COVID first. My grandfather had cancer. He got cancer suddenly in 2019. And then COVID happened in 2020. so my life was put on pause from 2019 to the day my grandfather passed away. I didn't leave the house for anything other than getting the groceries, and getting him to his appointments for his chemotherapy and everything like that. Outside of that, I did not leave my house. So imagine, all right, I just want y'all to picture what 20, 23, 24-year-old, right? What 24-year-old is putting their life on pause for 3 whole years to take care of somebody? Let's be real. Nobody really is doing that, right? But I had to, right? Because this is the person who raised me, and I'm not going to abandon him. You know what I'm saying? But for some reason, people look down on that. People are like, you had to be there. Like, because he raised you, you had to be there. And it's like, I didn't have to. I wanted to, because let's be real. Your parents raised you. Do you have to be there to take care of them? No, but you want to because they helped you. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just love. That's what love is, And during that time, I was going through this betrayal with some of my boys. They suddenly just started having problems with me out of state, by the way. Like, it was crazy. And before you know it, like, the same people I depended on for at least, like, most of my, like, mental shit, they were gone, and then another person I depended on, they were gone. Like, I during that whole time, right, I really had nobody I can really, convey into. I know people are talking about, you could talk to your parents and everything. It's like, nah, it's different. You know what I'm saying? It's different when it's a friend. You know what I'm saying? It's different when it's a friend and like somebody who chooses to be there than a family member, So next thing I knew after that betrayal, people started to find out that Gramps had a new will, right? Because Gramps always made sure to keep his business a little secret because people love to spread rumors. So Gramps had a new will, And in that will, he kind of gave me a lot of power in it, uh, or a lot of benefits, I would say, right? And everybody started to get mad at that. Like, what the hell? How did he do? Mind you, this is somebody who raised me since I was literally born, right? And people are finding an issue that all because he's not my actual grandfather, that like, oh my god, like, and it's like, fam, like y'all gotta realize, like, people abandoned him. Like, people he helped throughout his entire life abandoned him. Only a handful of people stayed. So next thing I know, even though I'm the one that took care of him and everything like that, the souls of hatred started to spread. And I'm not gonna release their name out of privacy, but this particular person always thought they had a lot of power in regards to him and me. And when they found out they no longer did, they started to spread rumors. Actually, I caught this person several times trying to tell my gramps that I was trying to kill him. And I'm sitting here, and mind you, Gramps, this is how smart Gramps is, though. Anytime they said that, or anytime they tried to say it, he would have me pick up the phone to hear it, because these same people were buddy with me, right? Like, oh yeah, and then next thing I know, you're basically lying on me, trying to tell the most important person in my life, by the way, that I'm trying to off him. Mind you, I don't know what's in the will until he died. The only thing he would tell me, though, is, DJ, you're okay. Like, he'll be like, you're okay. They're not going to be able to bother you. Don't worry about it, right? So when he died and I found out how much I had in his stake, basically, I was like, oh, this is what he was talking about. But then more seeds. Like, they started to say, like, oh, he burned his will. I'm sitting there like, what? And the worst part is people started believing it, and I'm sitting here like, how can I burn something that protects me? Like, why would I do that? You know what I'm saying? And then next thing I know, his side of the family, right, the old side, right, like, the people who they say once cared about me, betrayed me and refused to talk to me and believed everything that person said. They even give me the benefit of the doubt. Actually, to sum it up, guys, in his obituary, I am just, and I quote, the kid he helped go to school. Me and my grandfather had the deepest relationship in his entire life. And I'm just the kid he helped go to school. Imagine seeing that. Man, man, this is why I thank God my grandfather raised me to control my anger since I was a little kid. Because I would have destroyed everything. If I had let my anger out. Because people take silence for weakness. But the only reason I'm silent is because I think first. On top of that, grandfather always raised me to say, hey, be the quietest in the room. Let everybody else expose their hand. And you'll see what they're really about. And when I stayed silent, everybody started to expose who they were. And that's when I found out this is what he meant by it, not everybody's your friend. And in the last few years, I've been stuck. I'm not gonna lie, after I lost him and I felt like everybody kind of abandoned me, I ain't gonna lie, I didn't think I would make it through the next month. But my fiance saved me. My now fiance, like, she saved me. And she helped me push through that dark hole. And don't get me wrong, when you lose somebody that important in your life, that much of a figure, it takes years. It takes years to finally get over it. And it took me years. Actually, I didn't get over his death. I'm not even going to say over. But I didn't start making peace with it until this year. When I stopped seeing him in my son. That's when I'm like, oh shit, I think I moved on now. Because every time I looked at my son and everything like that, and he's interested in everything my gramps was interested in, and I'm like, yo, like this is crazy. But now it's like, okay, I get it now. And my godmother, she always told me, she's like, DJ, the devil tries to fight you every day, and you keep winning. I've been threatened. I almost got killed just as a teenager because, again, random bullets. Dude decided to spray at the dudes in front of me. But also, I'll be real with you. I have family members I could look up to. I have my cousin, again, shout out to my cousin Quan. He basically taught me you could fix your life. He he taught me things can get better, I would say. Because we all make our choices, and it's the fact that he made up for a lot of his choices that kind of pushes me a little bit. I avoid drama because I don't want to live my life in drama. I'm an adult now. um, I forgive people not because they need to be forgiven, but because I don't want to weigh my heart down for anybody. And honestly, if I'm being real with y'all, a big part of who I am stems from the fact that I was raised in the best of both worlds. There were days where I couldn't eat anything but half a pack of noodles, and my grandfather would eat crackers and milk. And there were days where you suddenly got like maybe like an extra $100 from somewhere, and now I know how it feels like to eat lobster. Yeah, we probably eat lobster probably like once every like 3 years, 4 years, but still, I didn't have to worry about the bills getting shut off, the light bills and stuff getting shut off. But at the expense of that, of course, like sometimes we couldn't eat as much as we could. But one thing about Gramps is if there's food in the house, I'm eating it first. He always took care of me first. And one of the biggest things I would say, chat, is like, don't lift up the world just by yourself. Right? Don't put the burden of the world on just your shoulders. A lot of y'all have this mindset of I don't want to tell anybody because I don't want to give them that burden. I don't think it gives them that burden. I think the weight of the world is only really, really effective if it's your world that you're only trying to lift up by yourself. But I think you should be able to reach out to anybody and have them help you out in regards to that burden that you feel on your shoulders, right? Because taking another piece from another world does nothing, right? I'll give you an example. If I had somebody I could vent to about all this stuff, I think a lot of you know anger and resentment that I had would have been lessened, right? And then that person who I vented to, they wouldn't feel anything or obligated to do anything other than listen. You know what I'm saying? So their world won't be as affected, but mine would be affected heavily. And I think we need to stop, trying to do that where we're trying to just hold everything. Because again, I've been in the keyest part of my time, in the keyest part of my years, right? In the prime of my years, I was betrayed not only by friendship, but also by family. Friend and family betrayed me in the highest order at almost at the same time. And I'm still here. So when my godmother says the devil keeps trying to get you and you keep winning, I really do believe that. Cause I do my best not to like have anything affect me negatively, my fiance, my kids, my parents, nor my sisters. To top it all off, everything I've been through in life, everything I've learned, I make sure everybody who's younger than me learns from those things too. Because last thing I want is for them to go through something and not know how to handle it. That, guys, is how these discussions would go. Um, as you see, this is probably about 20 minutes. So, but this is how, you know, my format will be. Either it'll be discussions with myself or somebody else will be on here and I'll be interviewing them about their own discussions. Like I said, it could be uh, promoting your own brand, talking about your life, talking about your struggles, anything. This is called basically like a venting space. It's behind the shade. It's behind the shade. What's behind the shade? Coolness, right? Like it's relief. So that's how we're going about it. So with that being said, I love y'all and I appreciate y'all and I hope you have a good one.